Today, indulge in some sweet treats, sip away on the high plains, and have a close encounter with a catfish.
Travel with AAA's Discover Oklahoma.
Hi and welcome to AAA's Discover Oklahoma. I'm Jennifer Reynolds, and this week our show is all about passion. We're coming to you from a scrumptious little store in Oklahoma City that was started by a man who had a passion for all the sweet flavors of his childhood, and he thought you would too. So come with us as we pay a visit to the Bricktown Candy Company. Justin Thomas has a title even Napoleon might have envied.
I am the candy guy and candy man in Bricktown, yes.
He runs what's become just about the sweetest stop in Bricktown.
We had candy, pop, and gelato, and we wanted to have an old-time candy store feel, and so we had candy bins as opposed to, a majority of our candy is in bulk, that you get to scoop, you know, either one or a big bag full of one candy, so you get to choose how much you get. And then the other part of that was having the ice cream, the Italian ice cream, the gelato, and having that as a different type of, and it is a different texture and different taste to the ice cream that they have. And then the soda pop, it was just unique. Being able to get glass bottle soda pops is a feel that you don't see every day. Everybody used to drink it that way as opposed to fountain drinks or by plastic or cans.
And among the rows and rows and rows of bottled pop, you'll find a once extinct brand of locally made root beer, AAA, brought back to life by Justin Thomas with the help of an Oklahoman reporter with a love for history.
Steve Blackmeyer gave me this information, helped me track down the past owners and their relatives, and it was a great opportunity to meet the people that had a soda pop line in Oklahoma City that was based out of Oklahoma City. You know, they had basically little Sonics called thirst stations, so AAA thirst stations. So I bought the name, the logo, and then I bought the formula from them, and we have recreated something very close, very similar to what they had in the past from the AAA root beer. People are very excited. There's a lot of people that just can't believe it's back in Oklahoma City, and they're excited to, you know, have that piece of nostalgia.
But no matter how many brands of pop they offer here at the Bricktown Candy Company, most of them made with old-fashioned cane sugar, Justin says it turns out Coke is still the real thing, except during the hottest days of summer.
If it goes over 110 degrees, we cannot keep Pepsi in stock. If it's under 100 degrees, Coca-Cola will sell better than anything else all the time, every day. And we have over 150 flavors of soda pop, so you kind of do the math on it, but you have to load up on Coca-Cola. Now, our Coca-Cola does have pure cane sugar and it's from Mexico. It is a little bit different, but it's still the #1 thing that people want to buy.
But most important to the people who come to the Bricktown Candy Company is the chance to savor the tastes of a time gone by.
No, they enjoy coming out here to show their kids or their grandkids what they had as a kid themselves, and so you get to relive, this is the candy that I like, and you get to see what they like, and you get to kind of exchange some stories about how much it cost when they were kids and things of that nature.
To be the kid in the candy store.
Yes, they get to be a kid in the candy store for one more time, and they get to find the candy of their childhood. And it's just reliving your childhood memories, really.
To indulge your sweet tooth at Bricktown Candy Company, just go to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com. I'll tell you what, this stuff is good. I don't always drink pop, but when I do, I drink AAA. Turns out our Jeff Roberts is a bit of a wine aficionado, and that has driven him out to northwestern Oklahoma to a vineyard in the shadow of the Gloss Mountains, all for the taste of the grape.
You ever heard of Plymouth, Oklahoma? Yeah, it was a real town till about 1905. The town no longer exists. This is all that remains, but the name, it still lives on.
Only a sharp eye would even notice any glimpse of the original town of Plymouth, Oklahoma. But meanwhile, its namesake Plymouth Valley Cellars seems to be growing by leaps and bounds. Leaping and bounding is just like its owner, Dennis Fleming, His wife, Elaine, says that even though he's retired, Dennis still hasn't gotten the hang of sitting still.
My wife used to say, I bought a baler here a while back because I have 300 acres of alfalfa, and she said the only reason he bought that baler was because he had nothing to do between 3 and 6 in the morning.
Thanks in large part to Dennis's busy nature, a destination was born near Fairview. First off, just for fun, he planted a vineyard.
Yes, we grow a 5-acre vineyard. We grow 9 different varieties, and we make 15 different kinds of wine out of those.
How much tending do you have to do to the vines themselves? I mean, do you have to keep them trimmed, or do you let them go
Oh, yeah.
wild?
No. We trim them constantly. For each shoot that comes up, we try to harvest 2 clusters of grapes off of each shoot.
Really?
And then you got to go in and cut them off. And so the time you get through on one end, just under 5,000 vines, it's time to start over.
From vine to bottle, Plymouth Valley Cellars produces 15, count them, 15 kinds of wine, and you can taste them all.
We have free wine tasting every day. Anytime you want to do a tasting, I've come down here at 11 o'clock at night if somebody was traveling through, and have a wine tasting here.
So you gonna tell me about this one?
Yes, this is a Chardonnay. I make all of my wines in what I call a German style of wine. It is really very tasty and more fruity, and has a lot more floral taste or smell to it.
And if you're feeling a bit too relaxed after wine tasting, don't worry your dizzy little head. Plymouth Valley is also a bed and breakfast.
And of course they have a full kitchenette and the pièce de résistance, a sleep number bed. Excuse me while I set my sleep number at 35.
But even with the B&B, the vineyards, and the winemaking, Dennis still has extra time on his hands, so...
Whoa, this is a really good sized event center. What are you doing here?
This is our banquet slash party room in here. We have everything from wedding rehearsal, dinners, Christmas parties, school prom parties, alumni parties, whatever you could think of, picnics, company, corporate parties, and this is where we entertain them.
And of course, they've also got a gift shop.
Well, how about this? Wines Constantly, a shirt perfect for our executive producer, Shel Wagner. I think I found one for my wife, too.
This patch of the northwestern Oklahoma prairie may have taken back the town that once thrived here. But thanks to a couple of retirees, life here in Plymouth Valley is more vivid than ever. At Plymouth Valley Cellars, near Fairview, I'm Jeff Roberts.
You can plan a visit to Plymouth Valley Cellars for your own wine tasting or a guest house getaway by clicking on over to travelokie.com. With hundreds of deep-rooted agricultural destinations across our state, agritourism continues to be Oklahoma's growing adventure. Well, there are lots of folks who have a passion for fishing without a pole. We'll take you noodling when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns.
Thanks for all your help.
Hey babe, what you doing?
Oh, I just switched our insurance over to AAA.
Why? We've been with our guys for years.
I know, but I met with the agent and she showed me how AAA could match our coverage and save us money by bundling our home and auto insurance.
Really? Well, did we get a discount? I mean, we've been with those guys for years.
Yes, and with the extra money we saved, I was thinking we could take that second honeymoon we've always talked about.
Hey, I am all about that.
So, with all the travel discounts we get for being AAA Oklahoma members.
Well, I do have some vacation time I need to take.
Oh, good, because our room is right on the ocean.
You already booked it.
I did?
What are you guys up to?
Nothing, we're just getting some dinner started.
When are you leaving?
AAA Insurance, for the ones that matter most to you. Give us a call today or talk to a AAA agent nearest you.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma and a show that's all about passions. It seems everybody is nuts about noodling these days. You know, hand fishing, you've seen it on TV. But would you be brave enough to try it? Michelle Wagner and her entourage were, and here's the story.
With a half-dozen national television series on the topic of hand fishing, most based in Oklahoma, our state has become the noodling capital of the world, which would make these two guys the obvious king and prince. Meet father and son professional hand fishing guides Bobby Lee and Bobby Leon Sparks of Sparks Noodling. They agreed to show us the ins and outs of hand fishing, just as they've taught folks from all over. The day starts with some dry land noodling, as Oklahoma Today magazine's Joan Henderson demonstrates.
Really not real. That's exactly what everybody does.
And then the safety speech.
The safety is above all is the main factor. Catching the fish is secondary.
Much too soon, it's time to wade in. We're at a good learning hole, according to Bobby and Bobby, a city-owned reservoir in Cotton County with submerged chunks of cement, which makes for great mudcat dens, but requires an extra helping of caution.
Well, if you're working concrete, there's the danger of that big fish flouncing so hard that the concrete actually moves and shifts and can pin you in there.
Bobby Leon finds a catfish hole and scoops up a glob of eggs from inside it. It looks like tapioca. This is what the catfish are protecting, and it's the reason they'll bite the tar out of you if you threaten the nest. But biting us is what we're wanting them to do. It turns out hand fishing works best when you've got a friend to block the den exits, or to drive the monster toward you with a stick. It didn't take long for Magic Man Jeff Roberts to noodle out a pretty respectable fish. And it turns out Joan can hold her breath for such a long time I'd begin to worry about her. I, on the other hand, could not. My pulse would have rivaled that of a hummingbird, even after an hour in the water, which meant I could hold my breath just long enough to get my eyebrows wet. I asked Bobby Lee if he could find me a mudcat hole in shallower water, so that I wouldn't have to dunk my head under. So we started working the bank, which was lined with limber trunks and chest-high reeds, the perfect habitat, it turns out, for snakes.
There's a few snakes out there.
Just be knowledgeable about what you're going into, and you can work with them.
Bobby Lee and Bobby Leon are irreverent and witty, and they keep the mood light. And they just chuckled when the fish they'd been helping me corner just swam out between my legs.
When you have that fresh blood out there doing it, it really rejuvenates you and keeps that fire burning inside you to keep driving and doing it.
Or watching them jerk back, or just that squeal. I've had 250-pound guys squeal like a little girl, and I've seen the ladies today do some of the, most heroic things in the world. It's just gratifying to be able to have people come down and have fun the way we have fun.
Eventually, we corner a monster, and I get bit.
Oh my gosh!
Our motto is, once you'll get bit, you'll either love it or hate it, but you'll never forget it.
I've had people that say they're going to throw their fishing equipment away. They'll never go fish with poles.
The Sparks believe in catch, photograph, and release, so after a few gloating moments, we said goodbye to the big guy, and I promised him there were no hard feelings for him biting my hand. The day had me traveling the full range of emotion, from dread and fear to camaraderie and triumph. One of those days I won't ever forget, and in my opinion, we could never, ever have enough days like that. With Sparks Noodling in Temple, I'm Shel Wagner.
For more information on other hand fishing guides, tournaments, and even festivals, you can just noodle around on travelok.com. Cristino Lolli is our resident expert on all things Italian, and up next he shares his passion for pasta when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns.
It was a Saturday morning and I went to an exercise class. As soon as the class ends, I go to the parking lot and somebody had stolen my car. I couldn't believe it. So I called AAA Insurance. They offered me a rental car. They told me everything was going to be all right. So when my car was found a week later, they said, "Bob, you need to change the locks on your car." I would have never thought about that if it wasn't for AAA. They really took care of me.
Get great service, low rates, and a free auto insurance quote today.
It was almost comical. It was like, I can't believe this even happened. I look down the street, I see there's a tree across my son's car. I was just like, I called my AAA agent, Patty. She said, we can take care of this. AAA and Patty are great. You just feel like they have your back. They make everything as easy as possible. I mean, they really take good care of us.
Get great service, low rates, and a free auto insurance quote today.
Welcome back to AAA's Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from the Bricktown Candy Company and a show that's all about passion. Not only do they have soda here, hundreds of kinds of candy, they also have some really authentic Italian gelato. This is gianduja. We think that's how you say it. Just call it delicious. Now, usually when we're sampling Italian food, our go-to guy is Dino Lolli, because whether it's pasta fasoli or chicken marsala, he is always ready to get out there and give it a taste.
Recipes that have been handed down from generation to generation, there's nothing like it. And when you discover that a restaurant uses those age-tested recipes, well, you know that the food is going to have that extra something. Such is the case at Gabarino's home-style Italian restaurant in Norman. Owners Laura and Mitch Dupre know the value of following tradition like that. Laura's mom is full-blood Italian from McAllister, and Laura grew up and developed a passion for serving people good food and making them feel welcome in a restaurant setting. But it was Laura's mom who instilled the art and fun of cooking in her.
She was also really big on hosting and entertaining. She is a wonderful host, and I think that's part of the Italian way, just being very gracious and hospitable and making people feel welcome in your own homes.
And when you walk into Gabarino's, it's like walking into someone's extended dining room. And yes, I sampled several items, and their food is outstanding.
We offer our homemade meatballs, which is a family recipe. I don't know, we call it the 100-year-old meatball, which doesn't really sound very appetizing, but it is probably a 100-year-old recipe. So that's one of our mainstays on the menu. And then we have a couple different lasagna recipes, one of which is our chicken lasagna Florentine, which is my pride and joy on the menu.
Their stuffed mushrooms are delicious, as is their manicotti. And for desserts, they make a lemon sorbet that is wildly good, and their Italian cream cake is downright heavenly.
I mean, I grew up making it, so I probably made 100 or more of those cakes before opening the restaurant. So that's another menu item that we're pretty proud of.
And above all, Laura and Mitch are extremely proud of the quality of food they serve.
As far as cooking goes, I think using the quality ingredients and letting the ingredients speak for themselves. Neither of us went to culinary school, so we don't do anything that's too fancy, but I don't think that's what Italian cooking is about anyway. It's not, most Italian cooking I don't think is real gourmet or, you know, fancy. It's soul food, it's comfort food.
Along those lines, even their pasta is made fresh every day from a place in Oklahoma City called Pasta Pizzazz. The owner only sells, though, wholesale and not to individual customers. Gabarino's also has a very good selection of Italian beer and wine on hand. For Laura and Mitch, they've had great word-of-mouth advertising and now are seeing very good return business.
We have a lot of regulars, a lot of tables I come out and talk to, and they say, you know, it's good every time. You know, it may be the first time that I've ever seen them or met them, and then they say, oh, it's good every time, you know, like they're just in here all the time.
And their goal is for the customer to leave with a smile on their face, wanting to return for another wonderful meal and dining experience at some point in the very near future. At Gabarino's home-style Italian restaurant in Norman, I'm Dino Lolli.
For information on Gabarino's home-style Italian, just go to the Discover Oklahoma page at travelok.com. How about a voyage to the bottom of the sea? Up next, an underwater adventure for the whole family when AAA's Discover Oklahoma returns.
Hey, how's Kara doing? Great, absolutely loves being in college.
Sam?
Just started driving.
Watch out.
Yeah, we just added him to our AAA membership. Smart move.
I'm just glad we have good insurance.
Who do you guys use?
We switched over to AAA auto insurance. With another driver in the house, it just made sense to check out pricing. AAA saved us a ton.
I didn't know they had insurance too.
Yeah, auto, home, and life.
Remember that time when we snuck Dad's car out and got that flat?
Here they go again.
Oh, AAA came and fixed it, and the folks never found out.
Found out what?
Nothing, Dad.
Talking about the time you two snuck the car out while we were gone.
You knew?
Well, of course. Why do you think Mom and I added you girls to our AAA membership? Never told you I always check the odometer, did I? Oh, great idea.
Thanks, Grandpa. AAA Insurance, for the ones that matter most to you. Give us a call today or talk to a AAA agent nearest you.
Welcome back. AAA Oklahoma makes this show possible and does a lot of other great things around our state. Here's a look at today's AAA.
Hello, Chuck May here with AAA Oklahoma. If you're like me, you'll agree that Oklahoma is a great place to live. But I'll bet you would also agree that we receive our fair share of extreme weather. Often this weather can cause damage to your home. Many insurance companies in Oklahoma have established limitations to their homeowners' policies, particularly for wind and hail, that are important for customers to understand. Our AAA insurance agents are available in 41 offices statewide to review your current homeowner's policy with you. Call an agent today to get a free quote and policy review on your home insurance. Whether it's a thunderstorm, hail, tornado, fire, or theft, get the security you desired with homeowners insurance from AAA. Until next time, may the road lead you to exciting new discoveries. Whether it's insurance, travel, or peace of mind on the road, think AAA every day.
AAA, for the ones who matter most to you. Ice cold gelato is a great way to beat the heat, and when we get into the dog days of summer, we're going to need some ways to do that. Here's a great idea. The town of Jenks, there's a place where you can take your family and spend the whole day under the sea without even getting wet.
Well, the Oklahoma Aquarium was actually an idea first in 1984, quite a long time ago, by two boyhood friends who were from this area. They thought, wouldn't it be neat if the Tulsa area had a world-class aquarium? Well, it took several years for them to get that idea off the ground and rolling. And finally, in 2003, the aquarium opened its doors to the public, and we've done nothing but grow ever since.
The Oklahoma Aquarium may seem a bit out of place in the landlocked Sooner State, but here you quickly forget that you're not near the ocean. You can visit a coral reef and admire the brightly colored dwellers there without getting on a plane. It's definitely the only place in the region where you can actually pet a ray or see a pot-bellied seahorse. You could find yourself just staring at these fascinating creatures for a long time. And then there's the aquarium's most popular exhibit, the amazing shark tank, where you almost become part of the exhibit as these monsters swim around you.
We have 4 different species of sharks in this main exhibit. These are the largest sharks. We have the largest bull sharks in captivity, which are a very threatening shark to man, and so they're really fascinating to watch. We have lemon sharks. We also have nurse sharks, which are the ones sitting on the bottom that look like giant catfish. And we have sand tigers, which have the real big snarly teeth.
Which can really make you grateful for the glass, even though the sand tiger is not known as a man-eater. You can also come face to face with Oklahoma's own aquatic species. The red-eared sliders can be as fascinating as rays to a child, and seeing what swims beneath the surface of Oklahoma's waterways can bring you a whole new appreciation for our lakes and rivers. One of the most popular exhibits involves water-dwelling mammals. The otters put on quite an entertaining show as they glide and dunk. The beavers are a little slower, but they're still fun. The Oklahoma Aquarium is as much research facility and classroom as entertainment, and the message is that water is important to all of us, and not just the oceans.
I think it's very important that people realize fresh water is an extremely important component of protecting the planet. More than 70% of Earth is covered by water. So there's more water space that you can see than land. So if you don't protect the blue, you're not protecting the green.
Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks to you for joining us, and thanks to the folks here at the Bricktown Candy Company for hosting.
Coming up next week, have a great heyday in Norman with the entire Discover Oklahoma crew. Check out a vacation itinerary in Woodward. Find out about the Gallery of Art in Anadarko and Stark's Fine Dining in Pauls Valley. Hope you'll join us.
Until next time, remember, there's always something to discover in Oklahoma. Cheers. Production vehicle provided by the Oklahoma Ford Dealers, official partner of the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department.